What's up, good people? David Taub here, co-founder of NextLevelGuitar.com. Just was improvising over one of our jam tracks, so I'm going to show you how to do it. It's actually going to be a great little lesson on some easy bluesy licks and how to make them sound really, really good by carefully choosing your notes. So important when you're playing lead guitar that you know the chords that you're soloing over. I'm kind of outlining the chords with the notes that I'm picking. I'm playing very simple licks. Anybody can do this. But you know, one of the things I always tell my students is develop your ear. It's so important because you could hear those changes and then you kind of change your playing to target certain notes. For most of this lead, what we're doing is I'm pulling notes from, we're in the key of G minor, and I'm pulling from the G minor pentatonic scale. What you want to do is, like the first change when it goes from a G minor 7th to the C minor 7th, what I do is I pick out a note in that C minor 7th chord, which is a very strong tone. Hear that? I pick out that E flat note. Now you're probably saying, well, E flat, that note is not in that G minor pentatonic scale, and it's not. I'm kind of playing over the chords. Instead of playing the same scale over all the chords, I'm kind of treating each chord as a separate event. It's an easy thing to do once your ear is dialed in. And knowing the notes helps so much because I know a C minor 7th chord, notes are C, E flat, I picked the E flat, right? G and B flat. There's your G, there's your B flat in that chord. So picking one of those notes to land on is really cool because it really outlines that chord. So the roots, the flat thirds, the minor thirds, the fifths, the sevenths, flat 7 if it's a dominant chord. Those are very strong tones, and those are called the chord tones, and those are the notes which make up the chord. And those chord tones are notes that you really want to target, especially when you change, because it sounds very sophisticated to kind of outline those changes instead of just playing the same scale over all the changes. The first lick sounds like this. What I'm doing there is I'm sliding with my 3rd finger to the 5th fret of the G string, to that C note, and then I'm playing the 3rd fret on the G string with vibrato. Then I go up to the G note, 5th fret on the D string, and then 3rd fret on the D string. Then I hit the 3rd fret on the D string again and I hammer it to the 5th fret with vibrato. And the other thing I'm doing is when I get to that G on that G note on the D string, I'm palm muting it. I'm laying the palm of my hand on the bridge just to create a little dynamic. So here's the whole lick so far. Take your time. And that's over the rhythm, the G minor 7th chord. At the end of the lick, where I'm on that 5th fret of the D string, is I just slide it up. You know, just take your finger and slide up so you get. And then the next lick, all I'm doing is I'm pulling off from the 5th fret to the 3rd fret of the G string. When you're pulling off, just don't take your finger straight off, pull down. And again, I end it with 2 hits on the D string on that 5th fret with vibrato. Here's the whole thing. Next lick. So what I do in this next lick, I'm playing over the C minor 7th chord, so I kind of change what I'm doing, treating that chord separately. Change to kind of get this E flat note in the C minor scale, and I'm playing 4th fret on the B string to the 3rd fret on the B string. Then I play the 3rd fret on the B string again and hammer it to the 4th fret and pull it off to the 3rd fret. And then I play the 5th fret to the 3rd fret on the G string, and then 3rd fret I hit again on the G, and then hammer it to the 5th. Because I'm still on that C minor 7th chord, and I'm outlining the E flat, the flat 3rd in the chord, and then I outline the root note, the C note. Now it changes back to the G minor 7th chord, so I play this lick next. And that's over that G minor 7th. I'm outlining that G note. And that lick is, I'm playing the 3rd fret on the G string, to the 5th fret on the D string, to the 3rd fret on the D string, back to the 3rd fret on the G string, and then 2 hits on the 5th fret of the D string with vibrato. I do that slightly palm muted. Vibrato. And then I play a little double stop. A double stop is just 2 notes played at once. With the 1st finger, I play the 3rd fret on the G and the B strings. And you get that double stop. And I slide it. The next lick kind of sounds like this. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm sliding up to the 6th fret on the high E string, and then to the 8th fret on the B string with vibrato. And then I do a bend, a whole step bend where I'm bending on the high E string, the 8th fret, bend it up, make sure you hit your pitch to the, I'm bending like the 8th to the 10th fret, or I'm bending this C to the D note, and I bend it up, and then I release it, so you hear the bend up, and I release it by doing a quick, and then I end that lick on the 6th fret. Now, that lick is played when the chords change to the E flat chord. So when I go, notice I'm landing on that B flat note in that E flat chord. That's why it sounds so good. Now it's still in this G minor pentatonic scale, but I'm picking a strong chord tone. In this instance, a chord, a note that's in this E flat chord. Now the next chord, it goes from that E flat to the D, and what I do, you hear that? You hear how those notes follow that chord. I slide up and play this A note, 5th fret on the high E string. And that A note is in that D chord. So you really outline the... So you can really outline those changes. And then the last lick I play, because it goes back to the G minor 7th chord, and then it goes to that turnaround, that D7 sharp 9. Over that I'm playing. Notice I'm ending on that G note again. So I play this other cool double stop, but I'm sliding with my 2nd finger up to the 7th fret of the G string. And then I hit the double stop. Just add your 1st finger to the 6th fret of the B string, and you get this great little 2-note chord, this great little double stop. And then with my 2nd finger, I slide from that 7th to the 5th fret, to the 3rd fret, and I give it a little quarter step bend. I'm like bending that flat 3rd to the major 3rd. And then the end of the lick is that lick we played in the beginning, but again, a little palm muted. A little artificial harmonic even. 5th fret D string, 3rd fret D string, and then 3rd fret D string again, and then hammer it to the 5th fret D string. Here's a bend. So if I play the whole lead slow, it'll sound like this. Keep developing your ear, practice over jam tracks, and if you want to check out our Jam Tracks Plus, our Blues Jam Tracks Plus, we have Rock Jam Tracks Plus too, but the Blues Jam Tracks Plus, click on this link right here and it'll take you to the page and you can hear some of the tracks. It's a great system because you get the Jam 10 studio quality jam tracks, and it comes with a 57-page PDF book that I wrote on lead guitar playing, where I take all the tracks one by one and explain exactly all the different things you could try over them. And then the book has diagram after diagram of all the scales and different lessons and rhythms. I'm David Taub, co-founder of NextLevelGuitar.com. Take care. I wish you the best in your guitar journeys, and rock on!